Can you guys see me now? How many of you guys can see me? Come on, hand. Well, actually, I should go like this. Orientation is locked. Rotate device back. Jesus, picky thing. Me now. You know, it's like what was it? AT&T. Can you hear me now? Let's see. In stream edit. Chat plus. What the hell is this? I'm in the. Let's see. Last video 57 that I saw. There was yeah, but that's actually the newest one. I actually found a loose wire on the coil because I took the driver and the number one spark plug wire and put it up against the hood hinge, and when I cranked it, it had no spark. It had one big spark and then it didn't spark again. So figured out a little wire keeps coming loose. So the only thing I got to do now is I've either got to advance it or I got to retard it in order for it to fire because it's backfiring through the carburetor. The camera on this thing. I don't get it. There's only one camera, and that's up here. This page is accessing your camera and microphone. Yes, I know, but rotate it. It's still not doing anything. Let's see. Participants, moderation activity, time lapse, and pop out chat. Still don't see nothing. Uh-huh. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can do this. I actually have to turn off the DVD player. Hold on a second. All right, now turn that off, and I'll see if I got that TV remote over here somewhere. If I do, then I'll just, there it is. Okay. And then we'll just, see, go back here. Because there should be a YouTube selection on here. There it is, YouTube. All right. I don't know why it doesn't have a camera rotate on it, though. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, there's a piece of plastic over the camera? Oh, that's why, because it's a new laptop. All right, so how do I get it off? Oh, here. Okay. Oh, there we are. Hey, thanks, Twisted. I appreciate that. I've been sitting there like all day. Like, duh. See, look, I'm on two screens. I might be on three in a minute. Hold on a second. Let's see. Music library. Now I'm going to get this whole thing working now. The laptop, the cell phone, and the TV. Okay, let's see. Home. And I'm just getting a little crazy here now that I got things working. Thanks for telling me that, man. I would have sat there all day like, gee, that's great. Nice sunshine. Get up and grind, people. uh, have a little bit of fun today, right? Let's see. Where's my live stream on that? No, no, no. My channel, stupid. No, this is not working. Try that. Up. And that. Sign in. I'm not scanning no code. Just do the darn stupid thing. Jesus, man. Why you gotta make things so difficult? Oh, really? Let's see. No, I don't want to use the remote. Open the YouTube mobile app. Yeah, there you go. See, YouTube mobile app device on. Same as Wi-Fi TV. Yeah, well, it's the same thing. Yeah. Okay. That. Come on, let's go. Don't be acting stupid. All right. Let's see. Come on. Yeah, and of course it's not working. No. It doesn't work. Come on, dummy. I am using my remote. It's still doing anything. Come on, dopey, work. Enter. I watch it went back. Because now I got a black screen on the TV. Ooh, hey now. Okay, let's see. Why is it doing this? I shouldn't have to sign in, right? Oh, you know what? Here we go. Let's just do this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Blast the time. All right, this should do it. Okay, up next. I'll just say something's wrong. You're like, no, not again. Oh, now I got to confirm it with my phone. Okay, let's see here now. Yeah, I know. I'm doing that right now. It should be. Here we go. Now I'm going to be on a 75-inch flat screen TV. Oh, it's derpy derp. There you go. That's me. That's me. See? There it is. There you go. That's me. There it is. Yeah. How many times going to repeat the same thing, though? Yeah. How many times are you going to repeat the same thing, though? I turn the audio down. Okay. That's better. Otherwise, we're just going to have all crap that I'm dealing with. What are we doing? Technology. Yeah, I know, but you want to know something? The problem with technology is it's only as good as the person that made it. That's it. And if they're no good at it, guess what? Technology sucks. Oh boy, let's see. So you guys got to tell me, what are you working on? Well, I know Boom here is working on radios. 4-year-old, no more. Yeah, but you know what? That's because they were born into that stuff. We weren't. I mean, the only thing I ever did with laptops was when my ex-wife used to get like Trojans and viruses, I used to clear her system out, you know? But those were the old laptops, not the ones now. Here, so you guys can see me on the big screen too now. See it? Here, so you guys can see me on the big screen too now. Yeah, crypto. Yeah. What's it? What's the bin coin or Bitcoin or whatever the heck it is? Crypto, yeah. They're trying to change everything from the dollar bill to crypto coins. Everything from the dollar bill to crypto coins. Oh, you like, that's right. You like working on the tractors. That's right. Yeah, Bitcoin. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. You get them to run, that's half the. Well, I did all the internal work on it, and now it's just a simple crap that's got me tied up. I did all the internal work on it. And now my biggest problem is that I can't see where the piston is, you know, from the harmonic balancer and the rotor. So if it's not lined up perfectly, then there's a problem. But you got to remember too. The other thing is that with these old cars, there's 4 positions you could put that in. You have your power, your intake, your exhaust, and your compression. Echo. Yeah, those are the 3 things you need in order to get it to fire. But I'm saying, as far as you dropping the distributor in, you know what I mean? Yeah, that was for the compression, the number 1 piston to come up. You dropping the distributor in, you know what I mean? For the compression, number 1 piston. But yeah, this is weird, man. I'm like in 3 different videos here. One on my phone, got one on my laptop, and the big one on my TV now. I'm like in 3 different videos here. I can't. I don't have any more of those. What you call it anymore? Maybe not. Nope. I like this. Tripods. There we go. That's good. That'll work. Tripods. Well, if you watch people, you'll learn something. But the problem is with a lot of people is they actually do that fast mode. Yeah, well, mine's backfiring out the carburetor, but it's not fireballing. It's just like gas mist. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, mine's backfiring almost like a smoke or whatever. So in any event, we know I'm not far from that car running. It can't be far from it now. But the other thing I learned too is that um, if the battery is like half dead, and you're doing a compression test, you're not getting a proper compression test because it's going slow. It's like when the battery is fully charged, then your engine's going at normal speed for cranking. So then it gives you a proper reading. The car is 12. I get it there, but it's 12-volt generator. And we'll just mute that because it's like an echo in the background. Yeah, so I didn't even go and get starter fluid. I just went and got gas. Gas went down up here to 2.99 a gallon. I was like, what? I couldn't believe that. Normally I'm used to seeing it like 3.49 and more. Try that. Now, how about now? It might be because I have 3 devices running. Maybe that's why it's doing that. No echo now? Good. Okay. Yeah, I turned the volume down on my phone and the volume down on the TV, so it's just a laptop now. And I learned one thing about these electronics: you can't have them too close together because if they have a microphone on it, they'll squeal. You know what I mean? Hey, Bubba, how you doing, buddy? Long time no see. How you doing? I'm on 3 different versions of electronics right here, Bubba. I'm on my 75-inch flat screen, on my new Lenovo laptop, and I'm on my cell phone all at once. Where you been? What's been going on? You okay? Anything happened to you or what? Because I didn't hear nothing from you for a while. I was like, man, odd, you know? But I figured out what's wrong with the car. It wasn't getting any spark. The wire that goes to the distributor was actually almost completely off. The dizzy clock. Right, that's it. So once I get to that point, then I'll know if this thing's going to fire. But I definitely got a lot of gas. I just don't want to put any in the tank until I'm underneath it so I can see if it leaks. You know, because if it don't leak, then I'm fine. Then all I got to do is check the line in the fuel pump. And if that's the case, that's nothing because I think I only run a straight line from the tank. But those tanks actually have a drain plug on them, don't they? For 57? And I think that tank on there is original. I think they got like some kind of like right on the corner, like on the passenger side front of the tank. I think there's like a drain plug or something. They should do that with all cars, so that way you can clean out the tanks and run the car. You know, instead of have to get a filter and disconnect the fuel pump and run a line from a canister and gravity feed it and all that other jazz. Wait a minute, I got to get this thing out of. Oh, well, we can close that out now. It's still up. It's not closing either. Oh boy, I'm almost like afraid to touch anything because like if you try and close something on X button, or if you click in the wrong spot, it may just like cut me off for the live stream. So what kind of health issues, Bubba? If you're still here, I didn't realize I should have. You could have said something to me, man. If you weren't doing good or something like that. Are you doing okay now, though, or what? Uh, yeah, I forgot to. I have StreamYard up here, but it's not activated in the YouTube, so it's. I think I'm supposed to do that first. Otherwise, I'd have a gaggle of you here. Yeah, I got to go and buy some though. I don't have any of that here. I didn't have any gas until what, about an hour ago. 3020 John Deere industrial tractor. It's It's 75, 80 horsepower. One of 25. Oh, okay. So it's actually a rare one. That's cool. So I take it you farm fields and stuff like that, huh? I did that when I was younger. I worked on a farm. I've been through the whole process. We actually worked on a field where the guy drove a tractor with like one of those. I guess you could call it like a hay bale truck or trailer, but it didn't have the bars on it. So he would actually go down the field and make he'd plow that before, but I don't know if you see what's up there. Those are boom boxes. Yeah, I'm hoping he's okay too. Oh, see, he's the same boat as I was. I had a heart attack 2 years ago. I got a stent in my arteries. 95% blockage and put a yep. I have one in mine too, man. Bubba, same thing. Hey, man, any day above ground is a day that you're blessed. That's the only day I can walk very far. And then other days I'm great. Like today was no problem. I'm out here, doing my thing. Well, I went outside around 12 noon, and I was surprised how warm it was out there. I'm like, what the heck? You know, felt like Indian summer in December. Yeah, see, my thing was I actually had a heart attack because I quit this 2 days beforehand, cold turkey. So what happened was I wound up shutting my body down. I put it in shock, and my body pretty much said that you still need this, and that was the end of that. You know. But the funny thing was is that they didn't allow me to get a shirt on. They wouldn't allow me to get shoes on, and I was standing up. I was walking around moving cars in my driveway. I had like a mild pain in my chest. It wasn't like major, but I guess they figured because of the cholesterol and everything else that I needed to stent in my arteries. But the thing is, the trick is you do a little bit of every day. Like if if once you get everything resolved, as far as leakage or whatever, a little bit of exercise every day, not a lot. And I mean, really not a lot. And, you take the medication that they give you to, make sure that the stent stays in your arteries. I have the empty bottle of it in my bedroom. Well, I see. I don't drink. I'm not a. I have booze here, but I don't touch it. I'm what they call a beer tab sniffer. That's it. You know. But this is my only vice. That's it. And I only smoke about a half a pack a day. That's it. And that went out. So I guess I'm not gonna smoke the rest of that. But yeah, I gotta fix what is it? One of the rims for the 57. I got the Corvette rims. I don't know if it's a tire or if it's the valve stem, but I filled it up with air. About 10 minutes later, it was flat. So I'm thinking it's probably an tire. I only got those, the tires that way it could become a roller at least anyway, because I wanted them on the car. Morning, but then once the sun came out, it was like a whole different ball game. Oh, and the other thing is, Bubba, make sure you eat healthy. Have pepper, um, your fat, the fat intake and stuff like that. You got to read labels and shit. The kind of stuff that used to annoy the hell out of me. Every time I went shopping with my mother when she was alive, God bless her soul, she would read labels and stuff, and I couldn't stand there and like really, what's the point, you know? Waiting so long before. Yeah, I know. It was just another gas reflux, heartburn or something. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. But when we get up above our 50s, man, we start falling apart, you know? And, if we don't start taking care of ourselves, we're not going to be around long. So, I mean, the good thing is I'm not a red meat man, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really, like, most of my refrigerator, I mean, I have a couple of steaks in there, but I don't have any hamburger. I have ribs, but mostly chicken, you know what I mean? And what I'll do is I'll mix that with rice, or I'll do it with vegetables, or rice and vegetables. The rice is not good for you because it's starch. But they say that potatoes are not good for you. What do they call it? Carbs. That's what it is. Wait, Twisted, how old are you? What do you mean pull start the old cars? I don't remember any cars that we used to pull start. Ah, okay. So you're 10 years older than I am. Yeah. Well, those are the what is it? The heck is it? Model A's and Model T's and stuff like that. You can't find them nowadays. There's a guy that's up the street in a couple of towns over. He actually has a couple of Model A's sitting outside of his. There's like a building out there, like a barn kind of thing, but he's got them covered. I think he has like two or three of them. Yeah, I don't think you can go past 30 miles an hour with them nowadays. Not if they're stock, lock, and barrel. I think that's about it. Oh, Power Glide, yeah, yeah. A couple old cars myself. Well, not that old, but I had a '50 Dodge Coronet, and I had a '52 Plymouth Cranbrook Club Coupe. But they both had a flathead six. Yeah, the fluid drive. That's what was it was a gyromatic fluid drive in the Coronet. I've had a bunch of Mopars. I've just like I go back and forth. I'll go from Chevy to Dodge. Um, I had a '67 Charger. I had a '50 Dodge Coronet, a '52 Plymouth. Then I had a '69 Impala Custom. Now I got '69 Olds, and I got the '57 Chevy. The only oddball car that I had was a '64 Volkswagen Bug. Get it to 80. Yeah, okay. Let me get my flux capacitor out. You gotta wait, Bubba. You gotta wait a while. Take it easy. You can't not when you're having that stuff. You have to take the medication for a while so it embeds the stent in your artery. You know what I mean? That way it doesn't come out. Because if you do anything stressful, or if you lift anything, I say take it a little bit at a time, like a little bit of walking around the house for the first couple of days. Get your bearings, you know what I'm saying? Then after that, then you can venture outside in the yard to go to the mailbox or something like that, come back in, you know what I mean? And each week it's a little bit more. Like I point where I was taking a walk to the Quick Check store, which is about half a mile, you know, and then I come back and I'm out of breath, and that was it, and the other thing you're going to learn is with the heart attack is that your sleeping pattern is going to be screwed up. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be hard to get yourself situated so that way you can, like, if you like I do, I go to work at like 5:30 in the morning. So like I'll wake up at 12 or 1 for a little bit. Maybe I'll like fool myself into thinking I'm going to stay awake by having myself a cup of coffee, and then I'll go back in the room and I'll just sit there and look at the phone or whatever, YouTube, and look at videos and you know, and the next thing I know, I'll pass out for about an hour, but I'll wake back up again. Yeah, well, you got to be careful though, too, though, Bubba. Seriously, you can't do the same. If you're a farmer or something like that, you better lay off of that. Get some hired help. If you're working on, those trucks like you were doing with the videos that you were posting and stuff like that, you can't do that for a while, man. You know. And the other thing is, you'll find you'll wind up being like short of breath at times. See, the good thing about it is, like, I used to work as a patient care associate. I did that for 15 years, and I took care of other elderly people in their homes. So I pretty much have a good perspective on things as far as that goes. And now what I do is I drive special needs kids to school because I can't do the patient care associate thing anymore because I got too many health issues of my own. Too much trying to lift somebody up and exercise them and have them balanced with the walker and all that other stuff. It's just easier to put them in a wheelchair and scoot them out the door and say bye. Not really kidding. Yeah, but you got to watch it though too. See, with OT to have my physical done, there was no high blood pressure. Then they turned around and told me I was diabetic. They gave me diabetes medication, right? I was deathly sick in bed for 6 days and grabbed a piece of candy and leveled off. It was like nothing ever happened. The doctors nowadays, they want to play God. But the thing is that I knew all along that I was hypoglycemic. I'm not diabetic. They have the same kind of principles. You know what I'm saying? Like, if my blood sugar goes low, I'll like black out. You know what I'm saying? But my body doesn't have a problem producing insulin. It has a problem producing blood sugar. So that's my problem. At least I won't be a slave to, things to prick your fingers to test your blood count, or your blood sugar. You know what I mean? And I don't need the needles for the insulin needed, so I won't be a slave to that. Thank God. But the ones that are diabetic, I feel sorry for them because that's. I mean, I had to do that with people too. I had to take their I had to do a little pricky thing on their fingers. You know what I mean? And then that's how it would work. And in the morning, you would do their little pricky thing, with the meter and find out what their blood sugar was. And it was high. You would actually, try and combat that and lower it, with the insulin. Anytime their blood sugar went up high, that's when they needed the insulin. Hey, there he is, Guns and Gears. What's up, man? How you doing? So what they would do is they would use that in order to combat your high blood sugar and bring it down. You know what I mean? But then you got to watch too. If it drops too low, you know, then you can't use the insulin. Well, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and mope about it. You know what I mean? I have a game plan in hand, and I'm hoping that these people are going to be legitimate. And for the time being, I'm just going to live my life. There's nothing else I can do, man. I got a bad deal with the mortgage, and I wasn't prepared for it to go above my pay. You understand what I'm saying? So I thought everything would have been good. I've been here 10 years on my own, and I paid the mortgage by myself with no problem until a couple of months ago. Then things happened. So, it's just a one day at a time. But I'm not going to worry about it too much because, I mean, heck, all the stuff I got here, I can always put this. If they try and lock me out of the house, I'll just put my stuff in the trailer or something or in my cars, and I'll sell it that way, and I'll have enough to get out and get another place. No, I know. I'm just trying to keep a positive outlook. Bubba, I want you to keep a positive outlook too, man, because it's not all that bad. It just takes time. You know what I mean? You got to give your body a chance to heal. You know, and then things are going to be a little awkward where you're sleeping. I know that because I'm experiencing that to this day. But I always try and make sure that if I'm going to go to sleep, I make sure that I go back to sleep so that way I'm not tired throughout my day because I don't want nobody's kid's life hanging over my head while I'm driving them to school or driving them home. I'm not taking that chance. I mean, I'm mostly for the most part, I'm a very responsible person. I'm not one of those slackers or whatever you want to call it, but there's certain things that happen in life and there's nothing you can do about it. And instead of worrying about it all the time and making yourself go to an early grave, the only thing you can do is live life. You have to let it go. Don't sweat the small stuff and try and enjoy what you have. At the time, you know. Oh, you will, Bubba. Don't worry. But you got to start doing them too. I never see you live. How come you don't do lives? Oh, I guess he left already. Oh, okay. All right, man. Yeah, but in the meantime, do what you got to do in order to get yourself right. You know what I mean? It got to come first before anything else. Now that's the way it is. Oh, pins and needles in my leg. No, well, you should try it. It shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be that difficult. There's a little, what is it, a live button down at the end. Like if you have a phone, you can do it on your phone too. Like if I wanted to, I could probably bring this outside, but it'll cut the TV off and it'll also cut the laptop off because I'm running under a hotspot right now. That's what it is. I see. Last Christmas, I bought myself a PS5, but I never opened it. It's still in the box. Well, try it, man. Weren't you in what is it? DRC's live? Do you know DRC, Dave? DJ stream, but not. Yeah, but it's the same thing, man. It's not really that much. The only thing is you're not hooking up a turntable to the microphone. Input. It's just a regular microphone. That's it. And you talk about things that are what the guys like. The guys are into cars. We're mostly into cars. Women are into dresses and shoes. You're not going to come on here talking about shoes and dresses unless you're a tranny. But yeah, it's just like I mean, my things are electronics. I got Hot Wheels all over the place. I've got thousands of them. And then, I have slot machines and air hockey, foosball, pinball machine, boom boxes, baseball cards. Then what else I got? Oh yeah, we got baseball cards, Reds, art collection, Hess truck collection. The end doesn't the list doesn't end. Nah, the hell with the crypto stuff. Stay away from that crap. Let's see now. Man, I can't believe we've already been on here 50 minutes. Jesus. Property museum. Yeah. Here lies the $1 bill. Remember this 1916 Denver Mercury dime? Shit. Man, the hell time is it anyway? Oh, Jesus, 2:20 already. Yeah, so I found out a couple things with the old car that I have out there. If the battery's not up to full capacity, the engine's not going to crank properly. It's going to drag. And if it drags and you're doing a compression test with a battery that's like half stat, you're not going to get a proper reading on your compression because it's not going as fast. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's see what else we think about. All right, and what's that in not in military time? But not in Celsius because I don't live in Canada. Mountain time. Oh, 7 a.m. or p.m. I'm thinking probably p.m. Right? 1920. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, it's somebody that wanted me to go in there live. What was it on Friday? Friday or Saturday or something like? No, Friday. And I came home from work, man. I was so tired. I just passed right the hell out. I just. That's the other thing is I don't want to be a guinea pig for. Oh, really? No, it's nice and sunny here. Sun's out and nice and warm. I bet you it won't be like that tomorrow, though. I think they're calling for rain tomorrow. Mhm. So what do you do, Boom? Do you fix boom boxes or what? I see your little picture is a boom box, so I'm assuming you know something about them. Do you know how to put internal Bluetooth in them? I do. Oh God, I don't know how old you are, Boom, but I have a radio that is the same thing that they used in the movie Spike Lee, Do the Right Thing. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, the only thing I do now is I work for it's supposed to be a bus company, but I'm driving a school van, and I pick up a couple of kids and drop them off at school and bring them home. But they pay pretty good. The only problem is there's never enough money. Yeah, I'm 54, so yep. Oh, you have that boombox? I also have what is it, JVC M70s? I have two of those. One's Japan and one's the American version. Then I have four. Well, actually, one of them has white speakers and the other one's an error. In other words, it has black speakers, but it's. Then I have some big ones. I have what is it? A Konyon C126 Super Jumbo Series 60, which has internal Bluetooth, and then I have a Konyon C100F, and then I have what is it? A Sharp GF 9696, 9494. Then I have some Sanyos. I have Sony's. I have Toshiba. Just a bunch of oddball radios. I have a bunch of Lasonics. I have the 975, the 951, which is actually a low production model. And then I have the first generation TRC 931, second generation TRC 931. Then I have the ones that have iPod one. They're Lasonics too, but they're the i3 ones. Then I have, what is the other one? Nippon. I have a Nippon 2020. Yeah, but that's different from here. That doesn't tell me. I don't know what those are. Like I got a friend named what the heck is his name now? God, he's in England. He just picked up a Sharp GF 777. Graham, that's his name. Yeah, yep. He picked up one real cheap. I don't know where he got it, but see, I got a bunch of brand new record players here. They're still in the box. They have internal Bluetooth as well. But I went out and bought what was it, 5 record players. They're made by Crosley, and what was it? I brought 2 of them back because when I bought them, they were only 15, so I got $50 back for each one. And then what was it? I bought 6 air fry ovens with the stainless steel casing on it with the French doors. And one of them belongs to my brother. I was supposed to give it to him last Christmas. We haven't seen each other in about a year, so I got to give him one. I got a 26-piece pack where you can do the storage things with the lids that all clip together. Oh, Graham, Jesus, why'd you change your name? You like messing with people, don't you? I gotta give. Jesus. I'm like, yeah, my buddy just got what is it, a GF 777. I'm like, ah! A lot of people, Graham. What the hell did I do with my lighter? It's like I don't go anywhere. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. My leg. There it is. Yeah. Why did you change your name? Hey, what's up, AB? How you doing there, buddy? All right, Twisted Mopar Garage. Well, have a good evening. Be safe. We'll see you soon. I'm going to probably get on here again next week. You know, probably a weekend or something like that. Keep this rolling, man. Oh God. I guess I'll have to sit there and subscribe to you now. You still do your crazy light, dance. The update on the Bel Air is that it wasn't getting any spark, and I had no gas, so I couldn't start it. So the wire that I installed was actually, I went out there and I put the number one spark plug wire on a screwdriver and put it right next to the hood hinge. And when I cranked it, it had one big spark, and that was it. And then I'm sitting there still cranking it, and I'm not getting any spark, during the revolution. So it's like, all right, something's wrong here. So I went to the coil, and I actually, the new wire I installed through the distributor was almost completely falling off of the negative side of the coil. So I went and got $15 worth of gas, and I tightened down that wire, and it's actually starting to backfire out of the carburetor, but it's not fireball, and it's actually like a gas mist, almost like a cloud of smoke. Oh, okay. Well, maybe you should do that tonight. Uh yeah, that'll be something for different you haven't done for a while. So yeah, it usually is. You're right. But see, the thing is, I'm sure that the fuel pump is no good either, though, because the fuel pump is the original. So I'm thinking that the gasket inside is probably dried up and probably falling apart. So like if I put gas in the tank, I don't even know that leak. I got to check that out. I'm pretty sure that it's the original tank that's on that car. I may have to buy another one, but I think that the tanks actually have like a drain plug right on the upper corner on the passenger side of the tank, and I think you can drain whatever crap that's in there out. But yeah, it's actually backfiring out the carburetor. And the other thing I found out too, AB, was that the screwdriver for the throttle to allow the jets to spray gasoline from the bowls. Well, there was a screw that was actually too tight, and it wasn't allowing gas to go through the jets. So I was like, I'm pumping the damn thing and pumping it and pumping it and pumping it, and nothing out. The only time it was ever backfiring was when I gas straight down the carburetor. Then with that, I was also having another problem where at the bottom base on the passenger side, right where the bottom butterfly is open, the throttle or whatever it is, there's a leak on the side. Yeah. See, I always thought for he's telling me, well, you got to do a valve adjustment. Well, I did do a valve adjustment after I got done putting the connecting rod bearings in. When you get too many people in the kitchen, too many chefs in the kitchen, you wind up getting too much information. You get misguided. You know what I mean? So I wound up getting a little bit annoyed because I'm like already all over the place doing this, doing that, doing the other thing, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, what about this? You know what I mean? So finally, after I got done with the connecting rod bearings, I was watching Jethro's Two Hacks Garage the other day, and he was showing how he's taking down the engine, and he had sludge in it and everything else. Well, the only problem was underneath his heads when he took them out, you could see all the flaking and all the sludge and everything. Underneath my heads, they didn't have that problem. There was no sludge, there was no flaking, none of that. It was just the two bent valves. I had to replace the intake valves, but not the exhaust valves because they have a wider stem on them, like right where the end, seals up. Right at that end there, they're not as thin as the intake valves. They're thicker, so they didn't bend as easy, and they weren't bent. So I didn't lap uh, the valves or anything like that, and I didn't put what is it, valve stem seals on it because there was nothing on there to begin with. And I don't know if that's something that they did back then where they didn't put valve steel stems on it, but there was nothing there. There's no residual of anything being on those valves. And I did wind up taking out the exhaust valves too, just to make sure. And there's a very easy way to find out. You could actually can lay it on a flat surface and roll it, and you can see if the stem wobbles. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same thing like a push rod. The only thing is you're looking at it at an angle instead of it being flat. Yeah, you got that right, 38. You're right on that one. Yep. Yep, exactly. So now I'm thinking it's really close to firing now, but I got to make sure that that battery is fully charged. And I think that battery is, like, I'm not getting the proper compression reading is because if it's only at half stat, the engine is not cranking as fast as it normally would. Now, I had that battery fully charged out there when I was taking the video. In the beginning, you could hear it cranking, and it was so much faster. You know what I mean? It was like nothing was hung up. And, there's no tapping or anything like that. And the so-called, like I said, even Jeff knows. He even told me, he says sometimes those push rods, they can be deceiving with the threads on the bolts because they get sludge in them too. And I didn't take all those lifters out, not lift piston push rods out. I didn't take them all out. I only took out the ones that needed to be replaced. Yeah, the little O-ring up top above the keepers. Yes, I made sure that those were in it. Little black rings. That's what they are. Little rubber rings. They go just above the keepers. See, that's what I thought. That's why, like, when I put the valve stem seals in there, I'm like, this card didn't even have these. I mean, because if they did, there would be some kind of marking or something on the stem. There was nothing. Hey, good to see you again, too, Graham. Have a good evening, and I'll add your. Why don't you leave a comment on one of my videos before you go, and then give me your YouTube page, and I'll subscribe to your channel. All right. Yeah. So definitely, it's just it's more stuff now. It's the distributor wire that I put in the new one where it goes to the coil. That wasn't completely connected, so that's why it's backing off and not firing. Yes, yeah, I know, but that's not this car didn't have them. That's what I'm saying. 38. It didn't have them. I mean, I looked at all of them, all the valves and everything else. The exhaust valves didn't have them, and the intake valves didn't have them. Black uh, O-ring, that one above the keepers. That's it. Yeah. So I'm pretty almost positive, like, if I put a good battery in this car and I get the fuel system working, she'll start. You know, because I mean, at first I thought maybe I was having coil problems. Driver in there, and I put it right next to the hood hinge, and it just gave one big spark, but that was it. It didn't do anything else afterwards. And like every time it goes through its rotation, it's actually supposed to throw a spark. It didn't do that. So, I just I figured, well, maybe it was something with the wire, or maybe the coil was bad, but it was actually the wire that I had replaced going into the distributor itself that was almost completely off the coil. So, and it's the smallest things that you overlook that can be your biggest headaches. So hopefully that'll be the end of it. Yeah, I was getting a bad compression reading before that. Like when right after I had got done doing the connecting rod bearings, and I know I put them all in right because I didn't take them out, all at once. I only took them out one at a time, and I put the bearings in. Yeah, I did have a partially spun bearing. People were making fun of me over that, but that's not my fault. I don't know what the hell's going on under there. Only thing I know is that I couldn't turn the engine by the hand, but it would still slowly crank by the ignition. So when I took the bearing caps out, or the connecting rod caps out, one at a time, I, pushed the connecting rod. And when I found the that was partially spun, well, I did plastic gauge, but I did it on, like, if you're looking at the journal, if you're looking at the journal, okay, that was just Graham. He's messaging me on my phone. Um, if you're looking at the journal like this, okay, and what I did was I put the plastic gauge right here, and then I put it over here on the other side, then I put it up top, and then I put it down on the bottom. And then what I did was I put everything back together, and I torqued it down to 35 foot-pounds, like it's supposed to be. And then when I backed it off, they were all reading 0.002, So I'm like, there's nothing wrong here. And I'm looking at it, and there's no scratches or anything else on the journals. So, when I put everything back together, I also made sure that, these bearings that I bought, they were $38 for the whole set, for the whole car. And they're new old stock. In other words, they were Federal Mogul, but they didn't have the sealed power stamp on it. Okay, so they were the originals. They had the notches in the bearings. They had an open space. And everybody was telling me, oh, well, you can use flat, bearings and all this other jazz. I'm like, no, I won't put in there. It was bad enough putting valve release pistons in number two and number three and having the rest of them flat tops. But you can't get flat anymore. But another guy named Gary that I know, he's done racing for a while. He's had a red 57 Chevy. He used to do the funny car thing. And he turned around and told me, he says, it's not going to make that much of a difference with the oil pressure, just because you have two valve releases in there. Um, he says, you're not even going to notice it. So he says, just put them in. He says, that'll work fine. And then, just do everything the way you're supposed to do, the way it's supposed to be put in. So that's what I did. When I got the bearings, I put them all in the right way, the notch to notch, so it's like this. You know what I mean? And you got the one side that's thicker on the round part of the connecting rod. When the rod is actually connected to the cap, it's a little wider on the one side than it is on the other side. So you just got to make sure you do it right. That's all. And only do them one at a time. You can stamp numbers into those connecting rods and all that. That's great and wonderful. But you could also just do them one at a time. Complete it, put it back together, then work on the next one. So that's what I did, and that's how I got it back together, and that's why the engine's cranking. And the other thing is the bearing that did spin. All right, the one that's in the cap where it has a little clip that gets locked in. Okay, opposite of the notch. Okay, what happened was the top bearing went underneath that, so there was no real damage done there. Now, if it was going the other way, if it went on top of it, yeah, it would have made some major problem. But it went underneath the other one, so it was kind of like, you know, it cranks this way, not this way. Yeah, but like I said, 38. This car did not have those. Uh, didn't have those oil seals on it. You know, that's. I mean, why put something in it if it's not there? You know what I mean? It may open up another can of worms. You know, anything's possible with that stuff. And this car, as far as from what I could see, it's getting plenty of oil. There's not a problem there. I still have the valve cover loose on the driver's side, like it's, not screwed back in. All the screws are out, so I could just take it and lift it out of there, and see what's going on with the rocker arms and the push rods and all that other jazz. And there's plenty of oil in there. It's not dry by any means. I do think that the worst case scenario is I'm going to have to get some new plugs because I think that Marvel's Mystery Oil probably fouled out the plugs because the ceramic part that's inside, it's black. It's not, and they're wet. They're wet from whatever residual is still in there yet. I tried to get it out by taking the plugs out and cranking it until the battery almost died, but that didn't really do any good. So I guess 57s are a little more difficult to get that kind of stuff out of. Mm. Well, maybe that's the reason why I had the low compression. I don't know. Worst case scenario is like I'll have to get the block done or whatever. But for now, I just want to hear it run. It didn't have that stuff before, and the car ran for a while until it blew the frickin' top off the connecting rod. And I think that was because, like I said, first of all, 38 it had a bad timing chain. You could sit there and just like tap it, and you could see that chain was way loose. And that was the original chain and the original gears from the factory. I mean, I still have the gears. It's stamped GM, you know, and the heck was it? The chain that I put in there and the gears, they were a double roller. They have three selections that you could choose from for your tooth or whatever to fit, and mine only fit the one with the square end. You know, it wouldn't fit the rounded one, and it wouldn't fit the triangle one. So, you know, and then that was at like 2 o'clock, and you had the marking that was 12 o'clock on the bottom, and then up top you had that one going to 6. So that's how I put it back together. And then, like I said, the last thing I did was the connecting rod bearings. But for the longest time, that engine sat with no oil in it. So it was taking me a while to get everything re-lubed up again, because I don't want to have another problem where I have to take everything apart again. You know what I mean? And now it's like I said, it's just the smallest things that are holding me off from getting this running. That's it. And it's the stuff that you overlook. It's too easy. And that can really annoy the heck out of you. But anyway, I think we got this situation resolved. So I think I'll be good with that. And I think there's supposed to be a couple other people that are going on live tonight. I don't know who, but I have to take a look and see who is. Do you ever go live 38 or no? Hmm. Yeah, well, see, the other thing is 238 is like where the valve springs are. Yeah, the valve springs, like right where they sit in the heads. There's a little like gully that goes all the way across on the bottom. So I think what it is those gullies that are right where the springs are. I think that's dropping the oil in. Yeah, but it wasn't because you only have one of three choices. If it's not the square one, it's the rounded top. If it's not the rounded top, it's a triangle one. And it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just like it's either one or the other. And then like I said, you have to set it like almost in between and 1 and 2 or something like that. I think it was 2 o'clock. You set that keyway, into the gear, and it has to be at 2 o'clock. But the timing mark itself has to be at 12 for the bottom for the crank. Well, maybe you got to do some more, man. You know, because I've been getting more into like watching other people's channels, and seeing what they're talking about and stuff like that. Like I used to sit there and just watch what was it, DD Speed Shop, in Canada because that's all he ever did was 57 Chevys. And then he started getting into the Opel and the Nova, and I'm like, yeah. And then he started talking about Charger, and I was like, yeah, maybe, you know. But then he got back to the 57 Chevys, the 55 Chevy, the 56 Chevy. Then he went to the two-door conversions from the four-door. And I'm like, everybody's telling me, yeah, you should do a conversion from a four-door to a two-door. I'm like, no, because there are too many people out there doing that conversion to four doors. And before you know it, there ain't going to be any genuine four doors left. You know, so that's the point of me keeping this original. That's the whole point of me doing the headliner and the door panels and the paint and everything. And I remember one guy turned around and told me, he says, "Yeah, I'll bet you that piece of crap is nothing but a Bondo bucket." I said, "I got news for you, pal. There's no Bondo on this car." You know. Yeah, well, once in a while, just pop in. It doesn't hurt, man. If I can ever get this StreamYard thing to work right, I get some of the people up in here with me. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I mean, like I said, that's the way it started out. And no matter which way you look at it, even if you do the conversion, the title and the VIN number is still going to come up with a sedan or a four door. You know what I mean? So it's like you're not going to get any money just because you did that. You know what I mean? And 9 times out of 10, not all the things that are in a two door are going to work when you do it with a four door. You know what I mean? Like the window regulator and all that other jazz. I have not seen somebody do it like that. I mean, anybody could sit there and weld up the back door, cut a part of the front of the back door off, move the pillar back, and get two front doors off of a two door. But then you got to remember, okay, well, now what kind of doors are you getting? Are they Bondo filled? Are they lead filled? Are they fabricated metal sheets? Are they welded? Or are they original? And then you got to change the what is it? The catch, the thing that locks, latches the door, the striker. You have to change the striker because a two-door striker is different than a four-door striker. And then the windows are different. Like the vent windows are not the same. Of course, the regular glass pane door is not the same. They're different size. So you really can't get away with much on that. But the only thing that is the same is the door handle on the outside and the little lock that you install. That's it. But now the only thing I got to do with this car is I actually, once I get it running, and I'm pretty sure it's, like I said, I don't think it's far off from that now. I think I've got it really, really close. So um, I I have to take some time and just stand out there and fart with it until I get it to kick over. Once I get it to kick over, that's it. It's done. There's nothing else. Because then the only thing it is just like I said, the brakes. And the brakes are usually, they're usually the hoses or they're the wheel cylinders, or the brake line. You know what I'm saying? And you can get that, what is that, copper lining or something nowadays? Yeah, well, I mean, usually, I mean, if they're not the same body style and they don't have the same components, it's not going to be the same and it's not going to look the same. You know what I mean? You really have to surgically enhance the metal and everything in order to make it look like, you know? Like, I think, what did they do? They did cornets in two door and four door. I know that. And I think for the most part, excuse me, they're the same for the most part, but, you know, I mean, you just got to make sure that, you know, from the front to the back, you know, you could check that by like the actual, the runner boards, you know, if they're the same size, you know, because I was thinking about doing that with like what was it, 1970 Impala, you know, I was going to do that with her. And, but I never got the four door. I wound up getting a 69 two door, was a custom. And right now I know where there's a 1969 Chevelle. I don't think the guy drives it. I think it's been sitting there for a while, but it's got the vinyl top on it. So I'm starting to think maybe that's not a good idea to think about that car because it's probably got, you know, the roof rotted and everything else all around the window because usually that's what happens when you leave those vinyl tops on. They absorb moisture and it just stays where, you know, where it goes. And it just gets worse and worse and worse as it goes along, you know. Oh, okay. What kind of car is it? 38. What kind of car is it? Oof, da. Oh, crap. I don't know. Maybe you didn't hear me. 38. What kind of car is it that you're trying to change over to a two door from a four door? What's the make and model? Or did you leave? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, what did they do? They only made a 65 in two door, right? Was it 65 or 66? But that's the one that had the dash explosion problem. That's like the Pinto with the back bumper exploding the tank. I could have swore they did a two door Corvair for that year, but maybe I'm wrong. Huh. I know they did it for 65 because I remember that going around about the explosion, something to do with the dash. And then, like I said, I remember that because the other thing was the Pinto. The Pinto was the exploding from the gas tank, mainly because it would be ruptured against something that was like near an electrical wire or something like that. And there was a piece that was sticking out that would actually puncture the gas tank if you got a rear end collision. So, All right, everybody. Well, I don't know who all is left in here, but we're going on an hour and a half now. Actually, over an hour and a half. So I think I'm going to get off of here and get outside and try and see if I can get this car started before it gets dark. It's already, it's 3 p.m. already. Ain't got much time to do it. So I figured I'd just come in here and, you know, get on here for a little bit because I think I need to start doing these more myself because I think I was doing them like once a week, but like I did one last week, I think, but it just didn't last too long. Any year could be had in a 4-door, 2-door model. It's just the 2 doors were all coupes and not sedans. Oh, okay. You want a 2-door? Okay, all right. Now I see what you're saying. All right, yep. See, that's like the '57 Chevys. They have the 4-door sedans, and then they had the 4-door hardtops. The 4-door hardtops, I think they came without a post. You know what I'm saying? That was the difference. And um, that could confuse somebody from thinking it's a 2-door. Yeah, I'm seeing your comments, man. You said have a good week. I saw that, and I'll have to stop by your channel too, see what you're up to. You know, I get to roaming all over the place. I start going over everybody's channel. Even the people that don't like me and I don't like them, I'll still look at their page. I don't troll them anymore because, like I said, it's kind of it's stupid to do that. I got better things to waste my time on. I got too much on my plate, so it's just better to get on here and just talk with people that like to talk about cars and stuff like that. It's a lot more de-stressing than it is stressing. And from this point on, like I said, I'm not going to deal with the people because they have their own agenda and I'm not interested in their agenda. So, you know, yeah, all except for the hardtop sedan. The hardtop is different because the pattern flow on the end where the window is, it's not the same. And what the heck is it? The vent windows in the front is not the same as my car. I have doors from a hardtop. Okay, and the vent window is the same vent windows that they use for the convertibles. In other words, it has the chrome or stainless steel around it. Mine doesn't. Mine has a little tiny thing of stainless going around the window pane, and that's it. Nothing else. Everything else is just plain metal. Plus, I think the trim is different for the sedan and the hardtop sedan, or the 4-door and the sedan. Because I don't think that trim line is the same. I think it's a little bit different. Plus, I know that the windows are different too. The back windows are different, and the front windows, I think they're smaller. Not in height, but in width, going from back of the door to the front of the door where the vent window is. Because they have that chrome molding going around it. I think that's what makes it different. That chrome molding makes up the difference between the height of the 4-door and the sedan. All right, everybody. I think I'm getting ready to go shut this down for the evening because I want to get outside and try and get something done with this car. I'm hoping that it's going to fire. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, and hope it's just something just as small as that battery being half stat and maybe advancing the distributor or something. Keep your fingers crossed and pray for me that I get this thing running finally. I mean, everything else is running right. It sounds right. You know what I mean? When it's cranking, it doesn't sound like anything's messed up. It doesn't have any like dead spots or anything. So, you know. Coupe is about 6 inches shorter than the sedan. Drastic. Yeah, well, that's usually, yeah. Then you gotta size it right. You just gotta. I don't know. I guess you would actually cut off less. In order to try and make it into a two door. You know, but you got to know where. And if it has, does it have a post or doesn't it? Is there no post at all? And then you got to find two doors for a Corvair that would actually fit. You know, so you'd still have to do the welding in the back. But you'd have to have the same windows and it'd have to be the same length and the same height. You got to keep all that in mind. When you're doing that stuff. Yeah, we're down to three. Everybody said, "Well, that was good enough. Great. See you later. Bye." There is a part there. Okay. Well, and when you do that, make sure you post the videos. I'd like to see that. I want to see how you're doing that. See how it comes along in the process. Because, like, with me with the 57, I did the videos from when it looked like somebody dragged it out of the swamp with, grunge or whatever the heck they call it. It was baked on dirt. Um, and the car ran then. That's one of my first videos. I backed it up and drove it forward, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you start hearing the ticking crap, and then it wouldn't start. Like it was hard to start. That was my indicator right there that something was not right. And then looking at the tailpipes and putting my finger in there and have it all that oil on my fingertip. That was like, okay, something's definitely not right. And then a couple more times after I painted it, I tried to start it again, and it just wouldn't do it. So yeah, when I got it, it did run sight unseen, and I've been working on it ever since. And everybody asks, how come I haven't finished my project car yet? I don't recall asking for your opinion. I get it done when I'm ready to get it done. That's just the way it is. People do things at their own pace. Off trying to get things done in order to try and impress somebody. We're not here to impress anybody. We're supposed to be here to, you know, give information and helpful hints and stuff like that. And if you got drama, heck, from now on, leave it at the door because no one's interested. uh, all right, POS. I think I'm going to get on out of here. There's only like three of you guys left, and I get outside and see if I can get this car crank before it gets dark. So I think we're going to call it a night for this one here, folks. It was good talking with y'all, and I hope to see you in the next one. Of course, I'm going to be posting videos, shorts. I don't post big ones because you guys know I have the mouth of a trucker. I mean, hell, I have the CDL license, so there you go. But things get on my nerves, and I get to losing my patience, just like DD Speed Shop. If you've never seen him, pay attention to him because he loses his attitude, loses his temper too. But he just doesn't show it online. He doesn't show it in his videos either, but he does tell you about it. I will. I will. All right, POS. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping in, and we'll see you all on the next one. Have a good evening. Bye bye now. Let's see if I can remember how to close this. Oh, no, that's live. There it goes. End stream. All right.
Illumination vibration. Well, I've traveled from Tennessee to far northern Michigan where I purchased a storage unit because behind this door, sealed, untouched for 22 years, is one of the most iconic cars ever built in the world. A 1987 Buick Regal E-Type, factory turbocharged. I'm also told it's low miles. I'm going to go ahead and try to get this car running and attempt to drive it 750 miles back home in southern Tennessee.
Good luck with that.
So when I purchased this vehicle, I sent the money and hoped that a title and keys would show up, and they did. I got the storage unit key and 2 random GM keys. I didn't know the unit number, and this key, walking around this morning, randomly opened up another unit that had a snowmobile and some ice fishing equipment. Boy, did my heart sink. Then I called and confirmed it's this unit. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. Again, this car has not seen daylight in 22 years. Oh, yes. Beautiful. The dark maroon looks to be in really, really good shape. Of course, these tires are flat. These tires are flat. Wow. It's got T-tops. This is the first time I've seen this car in person. I saw a couple photographs, which, they were old. So you never really know what you're getting into. The emblems are turning green, some sort of environmental reaction or something. Not quite sure. It's got the factory exhaust still on it. I can see over here. You can see where water has dripped a little bit through the years, through the roof here. But that's it. Unfortunately, the owner of this car had passed away, and the wife, lovely woman, she found out about, well, what's this reoccurring charge for a storage unit? Lo and behold, the old timer stuck this away over 2 decades ago. I'm sure he had intentions to probably sell it, something like that. I don't see any rust. I don't see any body damage so far. Here's how the keys were sent to me. Buick keys and the lock key, which we already used. We're going to go ahead and pull the door key off, ignition key, open this thing up. Oh, wow. It doesn't even smell bad. That's incredible. 66,000 original miles. Yes. I'm kind of getting nervous. It's obviously way too nice for me, but we got to get it out of here. We got to put this thing back on the road. It should not just be sitting in here like this. The seals are so good, the air is stopping it from closing unless you really give her. It doesn't smell bad. It smells like 2001 for the most part. Just Buick guy stuff. Crazy. Okay, so here's the plan. Remember the independent Chevelle when I bought that? And I had it towed to a motel parking lot where I worked on it there and then tried to drive it back home? Well, we're in that same scenario. We're in cottage country, way northern Michigan. There's no car rentals and Ubers and taxis and parts stores and tool stores, nothing. Tire stores. So it's going to be pretty well impossible to try to get this thing on the road right here. So what we're going to do is I brought a truck and trailer. We're going to roll this thing out, get it on a trailer, and take it to a friend's house. His in-laws have a shop there, and I'm going to work on it there. It's just south of here. Try to get this thing patched back up and running, and then we'll take off from there. Try to go 750 miles back home. So I'm going to air up these tires. Hopefully they hold air. I don't have any other tires. So, and then we'll try to throw this in neutral, push it outside, take a look at it for the first time in the sun, get this thing loaded up and book it back. I am fired up and really excited to start working on this thing. I can't wait to clean this and to see what it looks like under all that dirt. Intentionally didn't get the Grand National package or the GNX, which was out the same year. They went down the build sheet and specifically ordered a maroon Regal. Just throw a turbo on it. That's what's so crazy. So I just got down here to air the tire up. This was not here a few minutes ago, and from slamming the door a few times, in the perfect shape of frame, is like crunched up Doritos in the color of a frame, basically. That's that is a concern, but I can't really maneuver or do anything in here, so I think we're still going to just try to roll it out, and we'll take a look at that. Hopefully it's just surface rust. All right. Captain side rear. This is Brian. Really scaly. The tire date code, these were put on in 1998. So that would have been 2-3 years before it was parked. There's still tons of tread on them. So they just put new tires on it basically. And based on the miles, hardly drove it and then backed it in here. Winters and summers this car has cycled through. Think about that. That's all that's good. And Brad might be empty. I don't know what they did for that, but it's pretty wild. You can actually see the car on the concrete. This must be from the brakes. Scraping off rust as we were rolling it. Never seen anything like that. I've been doing this a long time. Rolled into the shop here, and this is going to be home for the next few days or until I can get this thing running and hopefully back on the road and make my way back to Tennessee. I think we can finally get both doors open, the trunk, the hood, and really take a close look at this. And then I got to get this thing washed and we got to start digging in. Guys, going to start back here in the trunk. I just like to take a gander. Engine parts. pieces, things like that. Wow, clean. I think we're safe, actually. It is clean. That's